Okay, we're back again. So it's just easy to do these videos in several steps in case I have to redo one. Makes it a bit simpler. So, okay, this code needs a bit of whipping into shape, um, but at the moment there should be nothing that would stop it from compiling if it had the code library attached, which I don't think it does at the moment. Oh, actually, I did do that earlier on. So we'll see if it compiles, but if it doesn't, um, okay, no, I haven't got that extra part in there. So should find that it won't compile because this part here, where it's creating an object, it's not a standard part of Access, this acro exchange thing, so it won't know anything about that. These object types won't know anything about that either, so it'll complain. But anyway, so you don't have to compile it, but if you want to compile it to find this out, you can go debug compile. Yeah, so use it to debug, not to find. So to fix that, you have to load in the code library, and this is done. We're working here in the VBA module, not the actual Access module itself. Let's just close down some of these windows here because it's a bit. There we go. So the part where you want to combine that is reference tools, references, and then it was this one here, I think. We'll try and see if that works. And now if we'll try and compile it again now. So as this guy says here, you've got to add in the right component. Now, it might be I don't have the full said Acrobat 6 and 10, so I don't have the full Acrobat installation here, and so this would explain why I'm not seeing the full things. We can move that up a bit, sometimes that helps. But okay, and we can also add in some other Acrobat stuff. Acrobat browser control. We'll add that in. Debug. So no, it's still you've got to add in the right code before that will compile. So okay. And because that's not going to compile, the whole VBA won't actually run. But so what we're going to do is, what I'm going to do actually in this instance is because I don't have the correct files, you might actually need to have a look at your Acrobat installation, and you might need to take a file from somewhere in your Acrobat to put it into the right folder, and then when you do that, then you'll see that Acrobat option appearing here, and once you've done that, you'll then find that this code will compile. So I think this type library here, yeah, so essentially this is what this guy's saying. So anyway, what I'll do is, because this won't run like this, I'll just remove this code from now, and you won't have to do that, of course. That code will compile, and as I said before, whoops, if we come back, edit, undo. Here we go. As I said before, what you'll need to do is to create two source objects. So we'll just create another one of those. We'll create that source 2. And so you also have to define those objects up here. So source, yeah, so just create another one of these. This, so this statement dim means dimension, or so first of all we've created this second object here. Now this creates a type of object, but this is the part here where you actually open the document, or this one here for instance. So this is, we'll just call this source 1, and so this could be, for instance, this could be your odd pages, and the other one of course would be your even pages, and then of course we're dealing with the object name, so source 2, which is that one there. So, and that's your output destination. So then you'd want to go through each source document, taking one page at a time, and then insert pages into your destination. So, and then of course you need to close down your objects as well. So we just close down the second source like that. This obviously the save one is important as well. So that code's not too far off really what you would need, and probably what would work. What you need to do, of course, is to research these objects here, and you'll find there are lots of different methods. And so in this instance here, this insert pages is a method, but there'd also be properties and other different types of methods where you could, you might have a create index method, or a delete pages method, or for manipulating the documents you're trying to create. But anyway, that's pretty much the sort of code you'd need. And you want to basically, before you leave Access, you want to save that, save the form, save the code, save the database before you leave that page. But what I'm going to do now is just comment out these things, because I need to have that library included, which I don't, otherwise it won't compile. So I'll just comment out all this stuff here, and what I'm going to do is give you a little demo of how the integrated development, how the debugging tools work on this. So that should be passive enough. Okay, we need to get rid of these two. So it's all nice and tidy. Routine code. Okay, so let's save that now. And now we'll go back to the debugging and compiling. So that compiled doesn't really come up with a message unless it's an error. And what we'll do now is we'll put in a breakpoint by clicking on the code there. We can save this. We can go File, Close, and return to Access, or just keep it open. It doesn't really matter. Now back to the form here. We're actually in the design mode here. So if we right click on the form here now, save, right click, and we want to go into the form view. So now when we click on this button, that code that we were in will execute, and it's come over here and highlighted as yellow. So that's it's a breakpoint. It stopped the code there. Now I think is F8 is, you can always go here. It shows you what the hotkeys are. F8 will step into or step over. So that's quite helpful. So if we go F8, it'll step into the function. So now it's come down to the function there. If there's an error, then it'll go to this label here. It isn't. So you can interrogate values by going view something called the immediate window. It's another window that pops up there, and then you can interrogate any value on the screen by going I failed, and it'll tell you its value, and so forth. So that's quite a handy little thing. And then so carry on F8ing through, and then it goes back up to there, and then it runs this code, this message box, which is just a pop-up thing on the screen showing returns value, and that's basically it as far as the debugging is concerned. Anyway, see how you go with that, and hopefully that'll get you started. If you do find out the name of, actually, if we go this one here, go browse. Okay, yeah, normally these things are DLL, which the ends in DLL, which stands for Dynamic Link Library, but also it has other different names for it as well. So this Adobe Acrobat code that you need from your full installation of Adobe Acrobat will have one of these types of extensions. And this, I just noticed actually that this part here also shows you where they live. That's interesting. Yeah, browse. Oh, okay. So if you don't see your code in there, then you can go and find it in your Adobe Acrobat system. So that might be how you now start to go in here, program files, probably Adobe Acrobat, and then find the link library you need, that code anyway. So yeah, let us know how you get on, and send us a WhatsApp message. Should work. Yep. Let's see now. Where are we?